Hey everybody, so this is one of two video companions to an essay I wrote last week about warping, specifically about the wagon wheel effect, where when you make a video, a top seems to come to a stop and reverse direction. That's due to an interplay between the RPMs of the top and the frame rate of the camera. So here I've put a single white sticker on a plier and gave it a moderate spin. I have a tachometer on the way to measure RPMs, but it hasn't arrived yet. But my theory here was that at this initial spin of maybe 2,000 RPM, it's about average, we'll see that sticker appear to come to a stop and then reverse direction only one time between the initial velocity of maybe 2,000 RPMs and then when it stops. And it's actually about to happen here in a second. So we can see this here. Okay, so it's slowing down, and we should see the moment where it actually comes to a stop, or appears to come to a stop and switch direction right here. So how fast is it going right there? Well, iPhones record at 30 frames per second, at least the default setting. And so we would expect that when the frame rate matches the revolutions per second, it would be taking exactly one frame or picture per revolution of the top, and therefore it would look like the top is standing still. So at 30 revolutions per second, or 1,800 revolutions per minute, if we multiply that by 60 to move from seconds to minutes, that 1,800 RPMs is when we would expect the entire top, no matter what top it is, to appear to stand still and switch direction. So one question I had was, will there be more times that we'll see it do the exact same thing before it comes to a stop? In other words, are there other RPMs that are lower than 1,800 where we would see that same behavior repeated before this top comes to a stop? So this video is 15 minutes long. It was a 15-minute spin. And I don't expect you to watch the entire thing, but spoiler alert, it actually does not happen again, which was in line with, I guess, my logic and math, but there was something in me that thought it'd be disproven and that we'd see that happen a few more times before the top comes to a stop, but it doesn't, which is pretty interesting. Part of the reason that it's interesting is because if you've seen a lot of warp videos, you have seen tops with elements that appear to do that much more frequently. The spokes on a matrix or a K2, I guess they're teeth on a K2, but any top with a repetitive feature that is equally spaced around the perimeter of the top is going to create that illusion more often than just a single white sticker like this. And some of the most interesting tops to warp have many different elements that repeat at different numbers. And sometimes the math lines up so that, 2 or 3 or 4, or even maybe all of the elements of that top appear to wagon wheel all at the same time. But the lesson here is that if you just have a single white sticker on a top, you're only going to see that effect once, unless the initial spin is really, really fast, like 3,600 RPM, which would be double 1,800, and I don't think that's achievable with a hand spin. What you will see, though, which is pretty cool, and you're seeing it now, is some really neat kind of patterns where this sticker kind of appears to repeat but flash. And sometimes looks like there's 4 of them. Sometimes it looks like there's 3 of them. Sometimes it looks like there's 2 of them. And you can kind of imagine how if I had multiple identical stickers on the perimeter of this top, it would appear to wagon wheel more often. Here we see it where it looks like there's 3 stickers kind of flashing, and right now they're moving in a clockwise direction. Anyway, I'm not going to narrate this entire video, but if you want to watch the whole thing, yeah, it's kind of trippy and kind of cool to see some of the stuff that plays out. But what you won't see is what we saw toward the beginning of the video, where it just looks like there's one single sticker that comes to a stop and reverses direction. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'll stop the narration, but let this video run until the top comes to a stop. Oh, one more thing. I plan on posting a video that shows another sort of experimental test I did with the K2, and that one's really neat. I kind of theorized at what revolutions each of the different elements, the 5 holes in the stem, the 10 holes around the collar, and the 15 teeth, like when, as the top slowed down, we would see each of those do the wagon wheel effect. And it's pretty cool because the theory I had kind of played out, and I was able to sort of predict what was going to happen before it happened, which was pretty cool. So I'll post that soon. Take care. Bye.